In Matthew 28, Jesus calls the church to go into all the world to preach the gospel. Well, we think that we're trying to do our part with that at Crossroad Bible Institute in our little niche in the Great Commission. Welcome to Crossroad Connection. My name is David Schuringa. I'm the president of Crossroad Bible Institute and the host of your program. In the studio today, I have with me Sandra Chang Rock. Sandra, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Sandra is our international coordinator and just doing a great job in terms of managing the CBI ministry and growing the CBI ministry around the world. You've been with us for how long now? Just a few months, right?
Let me think. I started the second week of August, so just a few months.
Yeah, just a few months. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself? What's your story?
Well, I was born in Peru, in a town north of Lima, 12 hours north of Lima in Trujillo.
12 hours? That's a big country.
Yeah, it's big and the roads are not very good. So I was born there. My father was attending seminary in Trujillo, and then there was a lot of terrorism going on in Peru at the time in 1988. So my family, my mom and dad, decided to move to Argentina, to Buenos Aires.
For safety purposes?
For safety purposes, and at the same time, they thought it was also a good time that my dad could finish his master's degree and my mom can do her pediatrics specialty. She's a doctor. So we moved to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and we were there for 10 years, and then we moved back in 2000 to Lima, Peru.
Now, your family is Chinese.
Yes, my dad is
Chinese.
Chinese.
So how do Chinese people end up in Peru?
Okay, I'm gonna try to explain that to you.
It's a fascinating story. I want our viewers to see how we ended up getting a Chinese woman from Peru and a graduate of Calvin College to be our international coordinator. So tell the folks, how does a Chinese family end up in Peru?
So what happened was my grandparents on my dad's side of the family, they are both Chinese. And they came from Canton to Lambayeque, which is 3 hours of where I was born. And they came in the 1940s. At that time, the Peruvian government realized that Peru was a really good country for growing rice. They actually have realized this before. And they gradually started, the Peruvian government started trying to promote the migration of Chinese people because these were the experts on growing rice.
Yeah, exactly. So Peru has a good climate
for rice.
For growing rice, but they didn't know how to grow the rice.
Exactly.
So they go to China and say, "Come help us grow rice."
Right. So
it becomes a land of opportunity, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what happened was the first migration happened in the early 1900s, and the Chinese people who came the first time were not treated very well. So the Chinese government decided, well, I'm not going to send you more people.
Not going to promote this.
Right, because you're not treating my Chinese people very well.
Sort of typical anti-foreigner prejudice and so forth.
Exactly. Yeah. And they were not getting paid very well. Some historians have compared it to slavery conditions.
Really?
So it was
pretty severe then.
It was pretty severe. So that stopped. That program stopped, and then in the 1940s they decided to try it again.
Was this be after the World War?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when my grandparents came. They didn't know each other when they came. Actually, once they both finished their contracts, my grandfather who was at the time 36, he was walking down the street in Lambayeque, and he saw my grandmother walking, down the street, and she was 18 at the time.
And how old was he?
36.
Okay.
So
Twice her age.
right. So he saw her and he liked her. He
I saw her walking down the street. Mm-mm-mm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So he figured out who this woman was, and then
Really?
Yeah, he knocked.
Sounds like stalking.
Hey, it worked.
Okay.
And he went to her house and asked her dad if he could marry her.
They didn't date or anything?
Nope.
Was that Chinese custom?
I think so. I don't know. That's not how I did it, but
All right. And so, and he said, and her dad said yes?
yep, her dad said yes.
Did she have any say in that?
Nope.
Wow.
I don't think she did.
Yeah.
So she never finished elementary school,
No kidding.
and I think he finished elementary school, but I'm not sure. So they had 8 kids. My dad was the 5th. They didn't teach them much Chinese because they had a lot of, when they came from China, learning Spanish was very difficult for them.
Oh.
So they didn't want to,
Muddy it up.
their children to have that difficulty. So they didn't teach them much Chinese. So they started a store, like a convenience store, that's been in Lambayeque for many, 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 many years. So that's that side of the family.
How did you end up in America?
So what happened was, I graduated from high school in Peru, and at the same time, I was I graduated high school, and then I went to university, and
In Peru.
in Peru. So I went to the most. They had a really good program in communications, but the university I went to was known for being like a party school. That's how you call it. So what happened was, it's not like here, they don't have dorms there. You go back home. It's just a university, and you live with your parents. So the people at church, I went to a Southern Baptist church, very conservative.
A Southern Baptist church in Peru. Okay. This is getting complicated.
Right? I attended church there with my dad and my brother.
Did they see you as a party girl?
They judged me because I was attending this party school.
Yeah.
And they didn't like it very much. And my friends in university were not happy either, because I was this Christian person, and what the heck are you doing here?
You were a girl with no home.
Right. So my uncle Daniel, who was at the time a professor at Calvin College, asked me, well, why don't you think about coming here? I think we are more tolerant in Calvin. So I applied, and I ended up coming to the United States in 2008, and I only had to do 2 years because they transfer all the credits. So that was a blessing I didn't want to do.
And of course, at Calvin, they don't have parties.
They do, actually.
They have parties at Calvin?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, they have like a swing dance club, and yeah.
Okay. Now, where did you learn English?
Well, I in the high school I went to was Scottish, from the Free Church of Scotland.
Well, you have had a lot of interesting influences on you.
So I was in that high school for 5 years, because it's a 5-year high school. That's
The Scottish high school.
Yeah. And then I ended up going to Scotland for about a month.
Oh,
So
really?
when I graduated from high school, I had this Peruvian Scottish accent that it's all gone now.
It's all gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider yourself Chinese or Latino?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, you are definitely a global Christian, and I think just uniquely qualified to oversee our global ministry here at Crossroad Bible Institute. I mean, you're Asian, you're European. I just found out you're Latino from Latin America. And now in the United States. So I don't think you can get much more of a global influence than that. We just have to, I don't know, send you to the Netherlands, I guess, for a while.
Yeah. And from my mom's side of the family, her mom, so my grandmother, she was born in Argentina, but her parents are Italian and Spanish. So
No kidding. Tell us about your first impressions. You've been about 6 months now at Crossroad Bible Institute. What are some of your impressions in terms of the international ministry?
people are so nice here.
Nice here at Crossroad?
At Crossroads, yeah. I enjoy working with the volunteers and
Yeah, we have
with all
a
this-
great volunteer and paid staff here, don't we?
Yeah, we do, and they're always, obviously, I am not white, and so they're always asking, "Tell me about yourself and tell me about this," and I appreciate that a lot. So I
You don't
enjoy
take that.
that.
You don't take that in a negative sense.
No, most of the times I don't.
Have you experienced prejudice in America?
A few, but you get over them, I think.
You learn to live with it, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Well, maybe we should have to explore that sometime. Let's talk about Crossroad has satellite campuses in 18 or 19 countries. You inherited a beautiful program from Cynthia Williams, who maybe our viewers are not aware of, but she was for 5 or 6 years, our international coordinator, but now she's in Sweden. Her husband took a job in Sweden, and she felt obligated to join him there.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You got to do what you have to do. But now the Lord blessed us with you, and that ministry. It's on 6 continents. It's all over the world, and it's growing. There's more of them. What give us a couple highlights in terms of what stands out right now in the international ministry.
This morning I opened my email and I was really excited to see that the ministry in Ecuador is growing so much.
The ministry in Ecuador is growing like crazy.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that was excellent, an excellent way to start the day.
In Ecuador, they have affirmation, approval, support from the prison system as well as the government. They prescribe the CBI courses to the people in prison, right?
Yes.
To help them with their drug addiction problems and so forth.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
an incredible thing. The nationwide kind of approval and support that CBI Ecuador has there.
They last year they had, I think, 138 students, and I think they have 220 this year.
And that's one of our oldest campuses too, I think.
I think it was 2009.
Oh, okay.
So
Not that old,
Not
but it's
old.
been going strong.
Mhm.
Big things also continue to happen in the South Pacific.
Yes.
In Papua New Guinea, our program is extremely popular among the government officials and the prison officials. Any updates about that?
Yeah, they actually 2 weeks ago, Terry West.
He's the director of CBI Australia.
He's a field worker.
Field worker.
That's how they call it. He went to Papua New Guinea, and they are starting a new ministry in Beyond Prison. I think it's a prison for women, and that is going to be growing like crazy as well. And they are starting to train more and more instructors because obviously you have more students, so you need more instructors to train. So they're going to be training around 80 more instructors in Australia.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
In Papua New Guinea, for some reason, the program is just extremely respected, what I understand, to the extent that when inmates get out, if they have first of all, to get out, if they have a CBI certificate, that helps them. But it also helps them get jobs.
Right. Yeah, I think they do some sort of rehabilitation with them, and that helps them when they are in the search for jobs.
And the last time I heard, they said that the recidivism rate among CBI students is 0%.
Yeah.
0%.
Mhm.
So that's what I was saying. We have time maybe for just a couple other areas. What's going on in Asia with Paul Tan?
Well, Paul Tan is they're, as you probably know, they're expanding in Indonesia and Cambodia. They're continuing to do that, and they may be expanding onto another country in that area. So that's happening now, and Paul Tan continues to reach.
Paul Tan is a go-getter.
Yep.
And then Paul Tan, he put us on to a director for CBI India, right?
Right.
What's the latest in India?
Well, they continue to their work there. I know that the coordinator for India is leaving, and so they're looking. They're getting a new one soon. So they're not as stable as they usually are. But I'm pretty sure she told me that she's training the new person. So.
Well, that's great.
Mhm.
And then we could jump over to Africa, where we have, 9, 10, 11 different countries where we have satellite campuses. And I guess we can give the folks a little sneak preview because I got to quit here. But Tanzania,
Yeah.
there's a brand new one that's opening up in Tanzania, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's happening as soon as he gets the materials. He's going to start working on that. He already has permits, and he has already done prison ministry. So this was just a way to make his program more legit with the government. So.
Well, Sandra, thank you very, very much. Our time has flown by here, but I hope that our viewing audience can just appreciate how God shaped you for this position. Here's a girl from basically China, Latin America, Scotland, United States, who's now in a position sending the gospel out to Latin America and Asia and Africa. It's pretty neat thing how God in His providence prepared you for this position. So thanks for being with us, and thanks for the important work that you're doing.
Thank you.
And thank you for being with us today as we've introduced to you for the first time on our program Sandra Chang Rock, who is the International Coordinator at Crossroad Bible Institute, and we hope that you enjoyed getting to know her. If you'd like to chat with her, be sure to email us, and I'm sure she would be happy to hear from you. Thanks for being with us today. My name is David Schuringa. You've been watching Crossroad Connection, a ministry of Crossroad Bible Institute, and we hope to see you again right here next week.